You're once again welcome to our discussion today. The topic is abandonment. We've been talking a lot about abandonment, and this is also something we experience a lot as we go through therapy, or even as we take our clients through therapy, or sometimes even as we take the children through assessments. We tend to pick the issues of abandonment because abandonment is something that happens a lot around the families and the environment where people live. So what is abandonment? Abandonment is a loss of connectedness. It is a loss of relationships and largely a sense of feeling that one does not belong. How does this abandonment occur? Abandonment can occur in 3 stages of life, or I'll divide it into 3 parts. Part 1 is abandonment happening at childhood, and later in another video I will be talking about the factors that lead to abandonment in childhood. But today I'll just describe abandonment at child level. As a child growing up, they do not know what abandonment is, and so even when they go through issues of abandonment, they for sure do not know. And even as adults, when you ask them, they may not go back to their childhood and tell you, for sure I was abandoned. Actually, most people, when we ask if they went through abandonment in word, they will say no, they were raised in a normal setting of a family. There were no struggles, they were provided for, their parents moderately loved them, it was just a normal family. Meaning, we do not, or we may not have potential to tell we were abandoned, and especially when abandonment did not appear or happen in severe situations. So, what is abandonment at childhood? A child will end up feeling abandoned or developing a sense of lack of belonging if they were raised by a parent who was not emotionally available. Number 1, the parent may have been available, but sometimes they were not consistently available. So long as there was no consistency in the emotional availability, then that child may experience abandonment. And the third part that causes a child to experience abandonment is when a parent was present. They may have been raised by full-time parents, but a parent who was not attuned to the emotions of the child. You know, the likes when you're told, when you cry, don't cry. When we tell children they need to learn to man up and stop behaving like that. And sometimes we even tell children to stop being children. You know, typically say dacha utoto, and children are just being children. So when we shame the children, when we shame children's emotions, they may feel that the parent, or experience the parent as one who is not attuned to their own emotions. So stage 1, when this happens to a child, and as I said, I'll discuss this in another part 2, how, or the factors, and break the factors down that cause a child to feel emotionally abandoned as a child. So the second part of it is loss of significant relationships as one person journeys through life. Whether that is at 5 years, at 10, at 15, at 30, at 40, an adult may end up feeling a sense of lack of belonging or lack of sense of belonging because of experiencing significant losses. What are these losses we are talking about? There could be many breakups, very many breakups. There could be losses through death, death of parents, death of loved ones, death of siblings, death of friends, death of significant people. It also could be through separation and through divorce. It could be loss because most of the people you are affiliated with just relocated at once. There were no explanations around it. These losses, when there are so many, can create such a hole in the heart because a person begins to almost become hyper alert on any relationships that they have, fearing that they might as well lose those ones. And that is a sense of abandonment. And the last stage is when someone struggles with social skills. Now, the social skills one, these people who struggle with the social skill may be coming from the part 1 and part B, or both, where they experience childhood abandonment, where they also experience loss of significant relationships in life, and now the third part where they are now struggling to connect day to day. I've had very many people who go to work who experience social settlement. Actually, most people talk about themselves as those who have social anxiety because they struggle interacting and engaging with different kinds of people. So, when one struggles at this level, they may need to heal part 1 or resolve part 1 and part 2 so that they can be able to now be equipped with skills to be able to handle relationships healthily, whether it's part 1, part 2, or part 3. If within you there is a heavy sense of not belonging, then you are struggling with abandonment trauma.